You said T.J. Jefferson. Mm-hmm. This news has landed, in a way, in Western Pennsylvania. That might not be well received. Is that what you're saying?
That's what it seems to me.
Okay. So Mike McCarthy is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I will start by saying this. He is one of the more likable, well-liked, good dudes you'll come across in the NFL. And he is a yinzer on top of it. Did I use that term properly?
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Yeah. He would talk about how, he worked in a bar and he would clean up on Sundays, which was tough because Saturday night he said something along the lines of, there's a lot of people missing the target.
Oh.
That's what he was saying. Yeah. He's also taken tolls locally. It's entirely possible that you've driven through a toll booth in the area. What would you say, in the late in the early 80s? You handed a few cents to Mike, or $1 and got a few cents change from Mike McCarthy. So this is pretty sweet that there's a guy from Pittsburgh who's now the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, a job that just never comes up. And obviously Cowher knows all about that significance about being a guy from the area getting the gig, right? And so there's that.
Yeah.
Certainly when the gig is never open. Okay?
It's like the Haley's Comet of coaching.
Pretty much. Like once every couple decades, it'll come up. Mike Tomlin, 19 years, he leaves in his own accord. Art Rooney II says we're willing to give him a 20th year, but Mike's done, and we hear, and it got the impression he doesn't intend to coach this year. And you haven't heard his name get a sniff of a half of a mention towards even in the realm of getting mentioned, connected to a job that's out there right now. Not one. Not a single one. And I don't think that's because the Steelers own his contractual rights. Matt, you're going to have to make the Steelers an offer for Mike Tomlin to take your job. He's gone off the radar. He's dropped out of NFL society, it feels. Right now.
He was last spotted at his daughter's gymnastics meet.
Right, just the day after he
at Georgia
told everybody I'm not coming back in Pittsburgh. So, he's not appearing on anybody's radar screen right now. But the reason why I bring this up is, Mike McCarthy was on a few other radar screens. And normally, though, when the Steelers have an opening, they hire somebody like Mike Tomlin, which is somebody who was so young at the time when he was hired. He's on the list right here on all of the Mike McDonald list of youngest coaches to ever reach a Super Bowl. Sean McVay at age 33 and change and age 36 and 20 days are the two youngest on that list, followed by Mike Tomlin, Super Bowl 43's head coach at age, 36. No, I got it right. 46 head coach at age 36 and 323 days. That's what you normally see. They hire Bill Cowher when he was a younger man, and they hired Chuck Noll when he was a younger man, and now they're hiring a guy in his early 60s in Mike McCarthy. First time they've hired somebody in this generation of hires with a Super Bowl ring already or championship in his back pocket. And the Rooneys have said they are hiring him because they are going to entrust him with the next young quarterback to season up in the way that he did Aaron Rodgers. Okay, go from Favre to Rodgers. So now he's going to go from Rodgers to whoever, fill in the blank. Is it Will Howard? Is it going to be somebody that they draft? Is it somebody in this year's draft class? Is it in next year's draft class? Or could it be the individual I suspect they would definitely be interested in, certainly kick a tire on, and that's Malik Willis. Would it be something if the current Steelers head coach takes a quarterback who has been groomed by his successor in Green Bay while he was coaching in Dallas, grooming up Dak Prescott? Do we give him that flower? TJ, you're the Cowboy fan here. Do we put that on Mike McCarthy's quarterback grooming resume, Dak Prescott? Or is that Jason Garrett? On whose resume is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're the Cowboy fan. I turn to you.
McCarthy won a lot of games.
McCarthy won a lot of games.
3 straight 12-win seasons.
Which
with Dak Prescott.
He's used
played
to
well
doing.
For sure.
I have the list right here.
Dak was second MVP one year.
Mike McCarthy is 15th on the all-time coaching list with 174 wins in the regular season. And his total playoff wins, I got to bring the computer closer to me. Isn't that sad? 11. So he's got 185 wins and a Super Bowl ring. Now, I did see Ed Werder, right? I love this guy. He's one of my favorites working back in the day. Was he the one who tweeted out that McCarthy in the conversations with the Rooneys was telling them, listen, if you're looking for someone to groom up your next young quarterback, I'm your man because I've done this from every spot I've been, including Kansas City with Marty Schottenheimer when Joe Montana was there. Did I really see somebody say that he was grooming up Joe Montana in Kansas City?
A lot of great responses. Joe Montana, in his last 2 years in the league, really needed coached up.
He needed help.
By a young Mike McCarthy.
I mean.
So I understand that would you rather say, all right, I'm going with somebody who's going to, with, potentially a year plus of success, past 200 career coaching wins, like his predecessor, who can win games and coach up a young quarterback, and then potentially leave that quarterback in a better place and the franchise in a better place when he's maybe done with this 5-year contract and he's going to be close to Andy Reid's current age? Or do we go with some young coordinator who's in his mid-30s and hope he is the next Noel, Cowher, and Tomlin that's here for another 20 years and we all grow old together, and we hope that coach is ready for this primetime gig? That's the choice that the current ownership, the current Art Rooney, I'm sure was part of the hiring process of Tomlin back in the day, but this is his first I'm in charge hire. And that was the choice. Do we go with a coordinator like the old ways of doing it and hope that's the next guy, and that we're not back here 3-4 years like on the coaching carousel like everyone else? Or are we back here another 5, 6, 7 years after we get Mike McCarthy coaching up a new quarterback here? And they chose that option. And all the Steeler fans that were like, I'm sick and tired of Mike Tomlin just winning regular season games and having a non-losing record and getting us to the playoffs only to be one and done. 2016, guys, was the last great coaching year for just in terms of wins and losses and then going on a playoff run for both Mikes in the equation. Mike McCarthy in 2016 was part of that Green Bay Packer team that went to the NFC Championship game. And they wound up losing to the Atlanta Falcons. That was the year that, as you know, Matt Ryan won MVP, right? And then they went on to the Super Bowl and lost the 28-3 game.
Yep.
Mike McCarthy beat the Giants in a wild-card game at home and then went to Dallas. Was that the one where Rodgers had that incredible throw on the sideline?
I think that was.
Was that it?
Oh, yeah.
Was it to Jared Cook? Is that who it was on the sideline?
You're right about
Yeah.
that.
And then they played in Atlanta and lost the NFC Championship game. That same year, Mike Tomlin went to the AFC Championship game and lost to Brady, who then went on to come back from a 28-3 deficit to the Falcons. So both Mikes made it to the championship games. That divisional round game where Tomlin's Steelers went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead was the last playoff win of his tenure. I'll just say tenure because, I don't know, I kind of assume he's not done coaching. But he got one and done the year after that, missed 2 playoff seasons, then one and done the next 2, missed a playoff season, and then went one and done 3 years in a row. Since that time, Mike McCarthy has won only 1 playoff game. 1. That was your Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott beating the Bucs, right?
Where he retired Tom Brady.
That was it.
No one ever talks about.
That was it. And he lost he got fired from Green Bay a couple years later in the middle of the season. And then that's the one playoff when he's lost every other time. And then there were some other ones that would just end in mind-numbing fashion, like what are they doing? What's with the time management? What's happening with that crazy-ass play where Zeke was snapping it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that game was
I'm just
like
there. All I'm saying it was we were left with a lot of what the hell was that? Fair or not? You know, that's why a lot of folks in Pittsburgh are upset, thinking we just replaced one Mike with a different Mike with similar problems getting over the hump. And the Rooneys feel differently. They also feel like it's important to find their next quarterback and let Mike McCarthy be in charge of grooming him up. I just don't know who that quarterback's going to be. Why do I keep on getting that feeling it's Malik Willis? Why?
I have no idea.
I just think it would be a really good move. Certainly if McCarthy and LaFleur are maybe somehow birds of a feather outside of just being successive Green Bay coaches.
Somebody's going to take a chance on Malik Willis, and I wonder if, there doesn't become like a bidding war between.
Yeah, but he's still not going to cost you Tua money, Trevor Lawrence money.
No, I would imagine he'd be on the Baker, Sam Darnold look, kind of a, team-friendly, 3-year, $100 million, and out after next year if it doesn't work out.
I'd take that shot, but who are you going to do? Or is it going to be somebody in the draft? You can't just sit around and have a bridge year when you just hire Mike McCarthy to groom somebody up.
No,
or you give Will Howard a shot first up.
Oh, I think you have a competition unless Aaron Rodgers says he wants to play again next year. You heard Tom last week. Look, they still have a relationship.
I know, but
it seemed like Aaron played pretty well this year. He's still got some game left. If he wants to keep playing, it's a logical spot.
And he and Mike McCarthy team up for the Pittsburgh Steelers and
next year, and you give it one last run, and then Will Howard is there in waiting.
How would they feel about that in Western PA? Do you think?
I'm sure someone's going to call, but I'm seeing people like all of a sudden for years like the Rooneys. They know what they're doing. They're very smart, and now. After this one, it's like all of a sudden they're dumb and they don't know what they're doing. It was like, okay.
Well, again, it is completely different from what they've done. But Art Rooney II wasn't the one who hired Tomlin. It was his dad. And I imagine, he was a much younger man when Bill got hired. And so.
I think a lot of the Steeler fans.
His grandfather hired Noel.
Don't have a lot of faith in the second is basically what I'm
listen, I hear you, but we'll see. For years I've been saying, be careful, what you're going to get with after Mike Tomlin. I honestly didn't think it would be Mike McCarthy with 170, 180 career wins, including the playoffs. I didn't see that one coming.
I mean, you could do far worse than that in a Super Bowl.
I thought it would be just some unnamed, as of that point in time, first-time head coach coordinator that they're just going to take a chance on. based on the same criteria that they used for Noel and Cowher and Tomlin. I thought that. I'll be careful what you wish for. I didn't see this plot twist, and I know
the opposite day, Rich.
I know that you have that drop, that famous drop when Mike Tomlin said, what we have it's for our what's more likely drop, right? About never say never,
Never say never.
Never say never, but never.
And that was when he was all linked to the USC job. Remember that one? Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Will we ever see another coach the Packers, Cowboys, and Steelers in their time?
Kind of look at that. This is historical, right? 3 of the most storied franchises in the history of the football
pretty good.
NFL.
All right, so give it up to Mike McCarthy, the toll taker in Pittsburgh, being the next head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unexpected, surprising to say the least. Third bite at the apple, very rare. Very rare. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.